that is something that we are going backwards, right? Making America great again sounds like going back to slavery. Doesn't sound like any progressive movement. Sounds that we are going to be in trouble. Miss Lavina, she was on here and she's saying that she has a nine-year old son. Well, yep, Trump doesn't say that he's going to support LGBTQ community. However, he does say that he's going to fund the police. So as a Black American woman with a Black son, what is that going to do when your son gets of driving age and he's out here in the street, right? So, of course, we teach at home. This is what you should do if you get pulled up over by the police. Yes, you want everything to be correct. Hopefully, you don't have any warrants or anything in that nature. However, we know that that doesn't stop real life situations from occurring, right? Same thing goes with LGBTQ community in the home. If you're teaching that, people can be who they are, what they are, but here, this is what we do. We live in a household where it's a male and female that pair and move to a union marriage or whatever it is that you teach in the household. What else did Trump do or did he say during his campaigning that was gonna hurt us? I feel he put 3 Supreme Court justices right in office, right? So then he has the power to sway laws that are going to be made. So what laws possibly is he going to come up with in the future that is going to hurt us, not help us? Whatever he wants to do is most likely going to get pushed and get passed. All right, that was the second one. So I spoke about what I speak about. Spoke about I'm sorry, I'm kind of nervous, but I spoke about y'all heard what I spoke about already. But there's another thing that I'm thinking about.
Don't be nervous. Listen, you good.
There's a third thing that I wanted to
Nah,
address
nah, it ain't no
other than
third thing.
funding
You don't
police.
remember? It ain't no third thing.
All
I
right,
told you,
all right.
I tell you, I'm about to be tight on y'all tonight.
Don't be trying to cut me off after you don't let everybody come up here and be super long-winded. But I should have wrote it down, so that's on
First
me.
of all, they have been super long-winded. Y'all have been.
You're
Your sister's right about that.
You should have cut them off for us.
Super long-winded. All right, but go ahead.
No, but that's where I was with it. And so, this is what I wanted to address. So Lamar came up and asked a very great question. I don't think anybody answered it. And what I think that he was saying is that we have to take a stance. Dr. Rashida said that earlier. She said we can't be straddling the fence as America needs to take a stance on situations. And so what Lamar was saying is that just like on these platforms such as this, Highly Initiated, why are we allowing everyone to come up here and talk about things that are insignificant or maybe not insignificant, but not in everyday discussions, right? So abortion, is that an everyday discussion? LGBTQ, is that an everyday discussion right in our faces? For some, you may say, but for the majority, he was saying, is that as important when we're talking politics as our taxes and other things that we feel are going to affect us immediately? So with this platform, we can push the agenda. Hey guys, when it comes to voting, let's not focus on the fluff that's being thrown out, right? And things that are getting us off track from paying attention to what's important. But let's use this time to talk about what matters. We're not going to talk about how Trump may be a bigot and a racist. We're not going to talk about what race Kamala is, and where she came from. But we're going to talk about what they're going to do for us and exactly how that is going to affect us. And let's not get lost in an abortion, right? Let's not get lost on that topic. Are you a Christian? Aren't you a Christian? Do you believe that this is something that should happen? Let's talk about, are we going to have to pay more taxes? As a single Black female that makes almost $200,000, am I now going to have to pay more taxes? Am I going to be able to order my stuff on AliExpress and from China and all these other places that I like to, or is it now going to be 5 times the price? Am I going what? Let's talk about conversations that are more relevant to the policies and that are directly going to affect our everyday lives.
Morgan,
I believe that's what Lamar was saying.
I'm glad you brought that back up because, like I said, I thought Lamar did a really great job. I wish he was up here.
But
Really great job proposing that question.
The funny thing is, I still don't think that abortion is an insignificant topic.
Well,
even when we looked at the stats, we literally aborted 25 million babies. Like, that literally changes the trajectory of a generation. Like, we literally murdered a generation with abortion. Like, so when you think about it, and you know, I'm gonna be honest, I know more women when I'm being, and this gonna be a tough one. I feel like I know more women that have had abortions that have had not. Like, abortions are so common. Matter of fact, and this is gonna get real crazy. In the chat, be honest with me. If you didn't had to be up in one of them clinics,
or if you paid for one,
drop a me in the chat, brothers. If you financed one,
ladies, if you financed one,
drop a me in the chat right now. If y'all want to be so candid, you can raise your hand if you've been involved. Y'all know how we get down to Harley Initiated. And one of them claims you can raise your hand right here. But this is such a common event that takes place in our culture. I actually don't really think it's insignificant.
Because I want to, on this specific thing, I want to get on the question that Lamar initially posed and Morgan just brought it up. Why are we focusing? Is this important? Is abortion important? Is LGBTQ important? Is this something that we should be even talking about, or should we be talking about something else? Real quick, Rashida, I want you to chime in on this, and then I want to get the young lady that's next to Morgan. So I want you to give me her name real quick. But Rashida, should we even be having this conversation right now?
Well, I think we're having a conversation because it's constantly being brought up. Like the media, again, this has been a major campaign headline for Kamala and for Trump's campaign as well. So I think we're just responding to what we're seeing that's, bled across the TV screen, in addition to all the other issues. I don't think that we as a community are one policy issue voters. I think that we're smarter than that. I think that we do have several issues on the table that are important to us. So out of 3,300 million people in America, we're not all going to prioritize the same issues on the ballots the same way, or the same political policies the same way. So, I do have major concerns around like the gender politics that are coming up, because I also have a son who's going to be 14 pretty soon. Abortion is a common conversation because I also run a private practice, and I, also speak to a lot of single women. In addition to married couples. So that is a common conversation for people that I'm around. I've also worked in the Philadelphia prison system. So I know firsthand that if you are now saying that you want a transgender male to be in a female prison, that puts everyone at risk. It also puts the human being at risk, the inmate, because he can't socialize with the general population. He is at risk to be harmed. And so that plays into so many other issues, medical care that he doesn't have access to anymore. And if I'm mixing up the pronouns, again, I apologize for anybody who might be listening. But again, it just becomes a major issue. So I'm not speaking from just things that I see on television. I'm speaking from a lot of lived experience on the multiple sectors of my professional and personal life. So again, I also just want to keep emphasizing that we are smarter than that. We're not, we're not focused on one particular issue. There are multiple issues at hand that we're all prioritizing. So whether you vote for the Democrat or you vote for Republican, it's okay. You voted, and you voted your issues. You voted in alignment with whatever you value the most and how things affect your family. And that's what we all should be doing. I think the fact that we're having this conversation is a step in the right direction. That means we also can have another conversation around how to, make things better for our community moving forward. That could also be the point, because tomorrow morning, I'm still getting up to go to work tomorrow. I'm still going to be teaching classes. I'm still seeing clients. I still got to get my son to school. So we also have to think about, regardless of who's going to be in the White House, to that other sister's point, they're really not running the show. They're the talking point. They're the figurehead. But there's definitely people in the background that are controlling the people who just get on television and speak. So we still can have the conversation about homelessness, about policing, about all these things, and we should. And we also need to talk about the things that are highly publicized, the things that are part of the policy. These are things that we're voting for, and we need to prioritize them accordingly. And you vote your concern, you vote for the person that matches your interests. That's what we should be. This is the democracy, right? We all live in a democratic society where we're supposed to vote. We're supposed to come together. There are 2 candidates. There are 333 million people. Somebody's not going to be happy tomorrow. Somebody's going to be happy tomorrow. We still got to live. We still got to move forward.
That makes sense.
Speaking of that, we're going to pull up these polls real quick. Just take a look at it. 205 to 230 right now is where we at.
Stuff going on. I just saw, I haven't confirmed it, but I just saw that Vivek Ramaswamy had tweeted that we have a new senator in Ohio. So Bernie Moreno won over the Democrat in Ohio. One thing about this, whether Trump wins or loses, Kamala will be coming in with a Republican Senate. So all of her radical stuff, she won't be able to do it. Ha ha ha, ha ha ha, ha ha ha. Because the Republican Senate is going to stop her from doing any of her radical stuff. So if she was to win, she would be severely handicapped, at least for the first 2 years, because Republicans are, no matter how this goes, Republicans are going to pick up the Senate because Republicans are picking up 2 seats in Montana and West Virginia, and now it seems like we picked up the seat in Ohio. So no matter what, she will be coming in, if she does win, with a Republican Senate. So most of the things that we're worried about here, all the abortion-y, crazy, radical, left-wing California crap, we will have a bulwark, thank you, Jesus, of the Senate that will stop that foolishness. Amen. Praise the Lord. Keep moving.
All right, there you have it. That's Benji with there you go. That's Benji with the T. Right Benji with the T right there.
All right, Benji with the polls. So
keeping us keeping us up to date with what's going on.
Let Indria chime in on this real quick. And Indria, I know you've been waiting for a while. You've been shaking your head a little bit. Indria, what you got to say? Hold tight, Morgan. We got you. Indria, what you got?
Well, I wanted to introduce myself because that's what we've been doing. But I am from Illinois, but I live currently in Alabama.
Okay.
And I think I'm the youngest one that has got on here.
How old?
So I'm 25.
Incredible. That's
there
dope.
You go. I think that's a tie.
Do I get a prize for that?
Youth and beauty. That's it. I mean, is that not enough? Goodness gracious.
I voted for Trump. And the reason why I voted for Trump is because what he did in the office while in his first term. I know a lot of people on here. I don't know if any of you all attended a HBCU, but I graduated from an HBCU, and I didn't see anybody touch on this. Besides the $250 million that he allocated towards HBCUs, there was also an executive order that was actually in play before Trump. And when it came to Obama's term, he actually made it difficult for faith-based HBCUs to receive federal funding. That was under Obama. But I don't see a lot of people talking about that. And so when Trump got in the first time, he went ahead and allocated the federal funding back to the faith-based HBCUs. But I don't see anybody talking about that. But people continue to say that he's a bigot, he's a racist. If that's the case, why did he do that? What would have been the reason? Why would he have even touched it? He could have left it the same way that Obama did. And actually within the executive order, it stated that under Obama that they actually had to go through loopholes. The faith-based HBCUs had to go through loopholes, and they had to have another secular option before a faith-based option, which I think is just wow. Another portion is the First Step Act for the prison reform. Trump did pardon Alice Johnson, which she was an American criminal justice reform advocate and former federal prisoner. Okay, and she was convicted, I want to say in the 90s. But we have people that are on here saying, well, if my son gets, pulled over, he's going to jail, all of these things. So why is he even touching prison reform? What is the point in that? So nothing is really making sense. I could not go with the Democratic ticket because I'm sick and tired of Democrats. It seems as if, though, that they love to pander to the Black community, but don't want to do anything for the Black community. And if we've been rallying for Democrats for as long as we have, why are we not further off within our communities? Abortion is a topic within our communities because the majority of babies that are being killed are Black. Kamala is not Black. I'm sorry. If that offends you, I'm sorry, but she's not Black. I think somebody else said this earlier, but why don't they put somebody up there that, may actually represent Black women? She doesn't. She just got up there and pandered. I hate that, and I just can't rock with it.
Nah, I feel it.
Listen, first, I love your preparation, and I love that you brought some different perspective, and it was based on what's actually happened with the policy. So that's excellent.
No, 100%. 100%. My sister's doing her research. She said she's
Right.
sticking up for them faith-based HBCUs.
Right. She did take shot at us who went to PWIs though, but I'm not offended.
Yeah.
She did. First of all, I seen them facial expressions. Them facial expressions was acting up. What's my sister name in the middle? I don't know if she making her face because was she hearing, or that's just her natural face.
Where? Which one?
What's my sister name in the middle?
What middle? Oh,
Morgan.
Morgan.
Yeah. So I was I heard Andrea. I hear you, but I believe that Trump's policies going forward is that he wants to stop all public education, which includes your faith-based, correct? So Lavina, we can't hear you, but if I'm incorrect, I haven't read the policies fully. However, he does want to do away with. I'm somewhat correct, and y'all could come back on and correct me and say what is true. Public education, funding public education, wants everyone to pay for their schooling.
Hold on, wait. That's an important fact right there, Benji.
That's not a fact at all. Actually, I'm in the chat.
So what is the fact?
No,
Y'all gotta stop with these lies.
Yeah,
That's not a
the
fact.
dismantling. Okay, so the dismantling of the Department of Education, because the thing is that in the Black community, we seem to have this thing where we think that like government is like good or government is inherently good. The Department of Education sucks. We didn't always have a Department of Education. Department of Education came through, I believe, in like I think like the Carter administration. It's not a new. It's a new thing with the Department of Education. Since we've had it, America used to be #1 in education. We're now 8,385 because of this large bureaucracy. When you have these big, that's why I support Trump and Elon Musk going in and tearing down.
Okay, but Benji, answer the question. Going forward,